Welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're here to give you a whip-around look at some of the latest news coming out of the sports betting industry over the past week. This week, in our state and national reports, the American Gaming Association released their April commercial gaming revenue tracker that we're going to talk about. We've got benchmarks in May for the states of New Jersey, Louisiana, Kansas, and Massachusetts. And we've also got a new leading sports book for New York State during the week of June 11th.
Yeah, that's big news, man. Yes. That's huge news.
In our deals segment, we've got some updates regarding the latest involving the PointsBet sale of its US division.
What a mess that is. I have no idea what's going on now.
And also we've got a change in the NFL marketing policy that could lead to more sports betting deals for some NFL teams.
Okay.
Industry updates. We've got the two states that have now legalized sports betting, North Carolina and Vermont, to talk about, as well as an update on a grand opening for a new casino. And also we've got a sports book in Ohio that is looking to move its retail sports book.
Okay.
I should say sports betting operator looking to move its retail sports book.
Okay.
And also we're going to end the show with our legislative roundup with news regarding the Oakland A's and also an update on the Seneca Gaming Compact in New York State.
All right.
Let's start talking numbers right after this.
80% of falls in the home occur in the bathroom. Don't put yourself or a loved one at risk. There's a safe bathing system for everyone's budget.
Enjoy a bathing experience that combines safety, comfort, and excellence. If assisted living is not for you, a BCI walk-in tub may well be the answer, giving you the safety and freedom to live independently. A BCI walk-in tub is the most affordable and comfortable walk-in tub in the market today. With our dual drain technology, your tub will drain quickly, and for those that still like the feature of a shower, our two-way bliss gives you both a handheld and overhead shower head. We offer the best financing in the industry with payments as low as $99 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months with approved credit. For comfort, safety, price, and selection, it's gotta be BCI Walk-In Tub. Be one of the first 50 callers and save $1,500.
Call 800-354-4377, 800-354-4377 for a free no obligation in-home consultation.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, watch this urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by hiring 87,000 new agents to garnish your paycheck and put liens on homes and businesses. They can even seize your bank account. The IRS calls it enforced compliance, and now they have the manpower to get you. Penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily. So call One Stop Tax Relief Shop and get the IRS off your back. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. And no other tax shop gets you more or faster approvals. One Stop Tax Relief has resolved thousands of cases since 2014 and saved clients millions of dollars. Call now for a free consultation. Connect with tax professionals who get the IRS off your back.
Call 800-605-0688. 800-605-0688.
One Stop Tax Relief Shop.
Every month, the American Gaming Association. Yeah, I want you looking up at the camera.
Okay.
When I start. Every month, the American Gaming Association releases what they call the Commercial Gaming Revenue Tracker, which tracks not only sports betting in terms of commercial gaming, but also the table game slots, basically the entire casino industry for the commercial side of the operation.
If you work in the gaming industry, that's like a must-read every month. You know, when they come out with the numbers, you just everyone in the gaming industry just pours over those numbers and see what's going on.
Well, we've got the April numbers.
All right.
In terms of sports betting, we have for April $820.4 million in commercial sports betting revenue. That's a 23% increase from April of last year, year over year, 23%.
Mm-hmm.
Year-to-date revenue, $3.87 billion for the commercial sports betting industry.
Wow.
That is a 69% increase over the previous year, 2022.
Well, look, there are new states, too, from April of last year. I mean, Ohio wasn't around.
Neither
April
was
of last year. Neither was Massachusetts.
Or Kansas.
So certainly a lot more people are betting, and that's a function of there's a lot more states, or not, I shouldn't say a lot more states, a few more states than April of last year. So, it's great. It's amazing. And it's an amazing industry, and it shows you how strong it is.
It's also a function of some states going mobile as well as retail, and also more books coming online in different states. A couple benchmarks in May to talk about. In New Jersey, we've got New Jersey reporting their May numbers. They have reported that they had $4.57 billion year to date. Mm-hmm. That is 2023. They are second only to New York, who has $7.98 billion for 2023 year to date.
I have a feeling we're always going to be second to New York.
Yes,
so.
A lot of people are going to be second. To New York.
But so that's pretty big for New Jersey, which is great.
Also, with the May sports betting report, New Jersey passed $38 billion all-time post-pass by handle, $38.3 billion to be a little bit more.
We're still number one in that, right?
Yes.
New York hasn't jumped us on that one.
Actually, number two is still Nevada.
Oh, wow!
A distant second, but Nevada is right there.
I thought New York's got to pass us one of these years or one of these months or whatever.
Looking at Louisiana, they reported their May sports betting numbers as well. The state passed all-time post-pass by handle of $3.5 billion, $3.504 billion. Adjusted gaming revenue passed $325 million, and total taxes post-PASPA has reached the $50 million mark,
which is the big one for the states. You know, they want to legalize sports betting for one reason: the tax revenue.
Exactly. Actually, they're getting closer to $51 million. It was $50,849,000.
See all those new roads and all those new constructions and all the high tension wires going up or whatever they're doing, or bridges being fixed. A lot of that's sports betting.
Yes. So. Over in Kansas reported their May sports betting numbers. They passed $1.5 billion in all-time handles since their launch, about $1,578,000,000.
Okay.
So Kansas is off to a very good start.
Good for Kansas.
Over in the Northeast, we've got Massachusetts reporting their May numbers. And while the handle was down, the more interesting part of their numbers was the fact that DraftKings was basically 50% of the market, both handle and revenue.
Well, look, DraftKings, their corporate headquarters is in Boston. But I'm very interested. We had this conversation off air, and I'm wondering what the hold was in Massachusetts sports books. Because, look, there were some awful series for the NHL and the NBA involving Boston teams. And, both series in the NHL, the Bruins, and the NBA, the Celtics, they were heavy favorites going in. So I would imagine that the newly, started sports betting industry in Massachusetts saw a lot of betting on the hometown teams, and I'm sure that didn't work out very well.
Well, to answer your question.
Oh, okay. All right. Look at that. You got the numbers right there.
DraftKings had 13.8% hold.
Oh, okay. Good.
FanDuel 14.8%.
All right.
And Encore Boston Harbor, which led all retail venues.
Which is what, Win?
Win.
Yeah.
Encore Boston Harbor, they had a 20% hold.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So
right.
The book at Encore Boston Harbor made out extremely well.
Yeah, good for them. Wow.
Now we're
beautiful place too, by the way. You
gorgeous.
Get a chance, check it out.
We're going down 95 to New York State. New York releases, as everyone knows, they release their sports betting numbers every week,
which is great. By the way,
and for the week ending June 11th, we now have a new number one book. I don't know if this is going to be for every week, but for this week in particular, it was a brand new number one. Usually, it's FanDuel leading DraftKings. This week ending June 11th was DraftKings leading FanDuel.
And is that the first time that DraftKings is number one in New York?
It is the very first time DraftKings is number one in New York.
Boy, DraftKings has been in the news a lot lately. Yes. Really great stuff from DraftKings. So.
Well, they're going to be in the news in our news report in a little bit. So
get ready for the PointsBet story.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
But this is the first time DraftKings has led the mobile sports betting industry in New York. Just by sheer comparison here, FanDuel has led 71 weeks, and Caesars led 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Caesars was the leader for the first 3 weeks of the sports betting industry in New York State, mobile sports betting industry in New York State. Remember, they did that incredible promo at the beginning of everything where it was a couple $1,000 match. So it was kind of interesting to see them jump out to the lead. FanDuel settled into number 1. We'll see exactly what happens moving forward. I wouldn't be surprised you see DraftKings at least one more week ahead of FanDuel, but we'll see.
You know, I wore this shirt, and I wasn't even thinking of the implications of the stories you were doing. It's my, I don't know if you can see the FanDuel shirt that I got when the Meadowlands opened.
Well, it was a good wardrobe choice by you.
Yes.
That's it for the state and national reports. Let's talk some deals. In terms of deals over the past week, there's really one deal that has been taking center stage, and it's not even a deal per se. It's a potential deal.
It's an offer.
Yes. It's actually a second offer if you want to be technical about it. We have the sale of PointsBet US Division, which is 15 states, as well as the deal that PointsBet has with NBC Sports. For sports betting advertising. Originally, Fanatics came in with a $150 million bid for the U.S. division. Just recently, DraftKings has come out of nowhere and thrown down a bid of $195 million. It's very interesting to see where this fits in because the board for PointsBet is going to be voting on which deal to pursue by the end of the month here in June. They have a couple different places are reporting that while PointsBet is seriously considering the DraftKings offer, some people on the board are leaning still towards the Fanatics offer of $150 million. It's less money, but it can be closed probably in a more timely manner than the DraftKings offer.
Well, look, I mean, they have to take everything under consideration just to be, do their due diligence. I guess that's what everyone says.
Yes.
Every business lawyer will say that. So, they have to look at everything. They have to look what's right for the company, what's right for the employees, and what's right for the health of PointsBet. PointsBet still operates overseas, so,
and in Canada.
And in Canada. So, it's something they have to consider, and they have to weigh all the options.
Well, again, it's a matter of whether or not DraftKings actually can complete this deal. Some other analysts have pointed out that DraftKings has something like $700 million in cash on hand, and when you factor in the NBC Sports deal, that's another $250 million to add to the pot there that they have to be responsible for.
Okay, yeah.
So it basically be 195 plus 250, and Fanatics is well heeled. The 150 plus the 250, they could probably handle with no problems whatsoever. But again, DraftKings has $700 million on hand cash, and it's really just a matter of whether or not which entity the board wants to go with.
Well, look, I mean, money is an important thing, but it's not the only thing. So everything has to be taken under account and under consideration. So, let them work through the numbers.
Yep.
Get all their accountants and lawyers in one room, lock the door, and let them work it out until they give a firm commitment and what's best for the company.
Yep. And you got to realize this is also a blocking maneuver by DraftKings. This would give this deal, if Fanatics does this deal with PointsBet, they're in 15 more states, including New York.
Sure.
If DraftKings prevents that from happening, that frees up, it gives DraftKings 15 more states that they can incorporate into their business.
Sure.
And also they don't have to worry about another New York entity coming on board.
They take out a competitor.
Yeah, exactly.
A very strong competitor, by the way.
And Fanatics is only live in 3-4 states right now.
Sure.
This the strategy for Fanatics was to be live in about 20 states by the end of this year. This would be the perfect way for it to happen for Fanatics. We'll see where everything goes. But
if you're a business person in the gaming industry, this is fascinating to watch. It's just great to watch. You know?
Especially when you
because DraftKings came out of the blue. I thought the Fanatics thing was, oh my God, what a story, and then DraftKings shows up.
Well, the Fanatics deal was never complete.
I know
until the
that,
June
but
30th.
that was kind of seeming like it was
Yeah.
on an easy road to completion, and then all of a sudden DraftKings shows up. So
It
it's
almo-
very interesting. It's entertaining to watch.
Yes.
I don't know if you're in DraftKings or Fanatics how entertaining this is, but it's entertaining to watch.
Well, I'm sure for DraftKings this is really entertaining. For Fanatics, it's frustrating.
Well, yeah, well, who
So,
knows? I don't know.
We'll see what happens. But again, it's a matter of what the board decides. The NFL, going on to our other deal for this week, this isn't a deal in and of itself, but it could lead to future deals. The NFL changed its global marketing policy regarding teams with foreign marketing rights that have foreign marketing rights available. The deal allows the teams that do have overseas marketing greater flexibility to partner with other sportsbook operators in their respective countries.
You know, I'm sure a lot of teams have overseas marketing, but the first one I thought of was Jacksonville Jaguars because it seems like their second home field is London. I know they have how many London games do they have?
I think
coming?
they have 3.
Is it 2 or
three?
3? I know they have at least one.
Yeah,
but you know,
I know they're in 2 weeks in a row.
so
they're there for 2 weeks in a row this year.
which, by the way, it'll finally be meaningful London games because Jacksonville is going to be very good this year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And again, this is not just for the London games; it's for everything. You got
Sure.
all different countries involved with this. Not just England and the UK. You're talking European markets.
Germany, Mexico.
everywhere.
So
not
you know.
not just where they're having games, just where they have.
Oh, yeah,
foreign
no,
marketing
absolutely.
rights. So there's tons of other areas that they can look at, including sponsorship. And one of the aspects of the games that you just mentioned in London. This will allow the teams themselves that are involved in some of these games to have on-field sportsbook sponsorships of their own.
Oh,
Because
okay.
previous to this change, this was controlled by the NFL only. The NFL controlled all sponsorships in the games in foreign markets. Now you're going to be seeing some of the teams take advantage of this and bring in their own revenue sharing deals
nice.
or revenue deals with sports betting operators, as long as they're legal and licensed in their respective countries.
Sure.
We'll see.
And you know what? It's
where
one
it
more
goes.
type of jersey to sell.
Yeah,
You know, have a special overseas game jersey, and you can sell that to.
Well,
your
no
fans.
word on whether they can do apparel deals.
Okay,
This
well,
is basically on.
You know
field
what's
deals.
heading there.
At some point. But
Sure.
again, you've got countries like the UK where they're banning all that for soccer,
Sure.
European football. It's a matter of whether or not the UK would allow the NFL to do it if they're disallowing it in the soccer realm.
Okay.
But again, this is for on-field sponsorships. This is for individual team sponsorships. They've never had this flexibility before. I think it's just kind of a great move by the NFL. They're recognizing that the more flexibility they allow the NFL individual teams
The more
to
money.
do these deals, more money comes
Money.
Exactly.
Yep.
And also it increases the streaming rights as well, because these individual country marketing rights are very valuable, and some of these sports books in those countries have streaming.
Sure.
So a good move by the NFL.
Absolutely.
That's it for the deals. We're going to talk our industry updates right after this.
Game starts at 20, bet slip is empty. I gotta call KG.
KG, what
I
up?
got nothing for you, Fox.
Ah, come on. Jalen. You want to tell?
Yeah.
Don't call somebody on live TV.
Well, you answered. Have other friends anyway.
Marshawn, Barry.
Listen, I need some tips.
I like LA.
LA?
No, Dallas. That's
Dallas?
No, Dallas.
Dallas?
How about Detroit? Barry,
I'm calling y'all right now. Vanessa,
I got a tip for you. Always go with your gut.
I like that. Let's go with our gut.
Welcome back to the Turnpike Sports Book Report. Industry updates. We've got North Carolina and Vermont both entering the sports betting industry when the governors of their respective states signed the sports betting legislation into law. One correction I have to talk about. I did mistake the name of the North Carolina governor. I think I said Roy Moore last year. It's Roy Cooper. Don't know where the Moore came from.
Roy Moore was the guy from The Judge and down south. Had a little problem with, allegedly walking around checking out whatever at the malls. So
okay,
right.
Well, thank you.
I'm not going to get too far into it, but it's a weird kind of situation there.
Thank you for compounding my error even more.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, we have North Carolina and Vermont both passing their legislation. They are now I believe the 28th and 29th jurisdictions to allow sports betting, or 28th and 29th states, with D.C. being a jurisdiction after that. So the industry has grown. We're going to be starting to see launches for these. Both states are looking at January launches from what we're seeing. Vermont has a January launch definitely planned. North Carolina has 12 months from the signing of the bill, but they are anticipating a January launch as well.
say at least one, if not both, will be up and running before the World Series. I know I'm talking late October, but it's such a important time, like World Series kind of time. That's one of those benchmarks.
I am still sticking with my prediction of one at the beginning of January, one at the end of January.
Okay, all right. You're more conservative forecast.
Well, we just had that happen this past year with Ohio and Massachusetts, so I'm thinking we're going to see a repeat of that.
Okay, all right.
Over in Nevada, we've got Caesars Sportsbook Nevada changing platforms. They became Caesars Sportsbook Nevada, Caesars Nevada Sportsbook. Really no difference on the surface, but it will allow greater flexibility. It's their own platform. So little by little, Caesars is moving away from the William Hill platform to their own Caesars Sportsbook platform. North Carolina, we just finished talking about them. The North Carolina Lottery has launched a sports betting page, which will be doing the scheduling. You'll be able to get updates. You got the rules and regulations listed there. Just head on over to North Carolina Lottery's homepage, and you'll see a link to the sports betting section there. We've got a grand opening of the Great Canadian's new casino resort in Toronto. It's a $1 billion resort. It is the largest casino in Canada.
Wow,
one of
really?
the largest in North America. 328,000 square feet. They're gonna have a Vegas-style gaming space, 4,800 slot machines. I'm reading my notes here so I get the numbers right. 145 table games.
Wow, that's a lot.
A 400-room hotel.
Okay.
A 5,000-seat entertainment venue, and multiple restaurants.
Okay.
No word on whether or not they're going to have a sports book, but given the industry, you're probably going to have at least a sports betting lounge to start off with.
Sure.
And last entry for the industry updates here, BetMGM in Ohio. BetMGM is looking into moving their retail sports book out of Great American Ballpark. The Great American Ballpark is the home to the Cincinnati Reds.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's also one of the worst performing retail sports books in the state.
Interesting.
I don't know whether that has anything to do with the Reds' play this year, but this is the book that's in the stadium is one of the worst performing in the state.
I have yet to be there. I wonder what the problem is. I mean, if it's in a weird location in that area or what's going on. I'm surprised that it should be doing better, I would think.
BetMGM is thinking if they move it a couple blocks, which way they're going, more foot traffic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It could be situated in like some area where, not a lot of people walk by,
Well, if I remember where Great American Ballpark is, there's nothing there but the ballpark.
Oh, okay.
And then a park.
Okay.
And, an actual park, not a ballpark.
All right.
So it's kind of in an area where there is less foot traffic other than when there's a game.
Okay.
So maybe it's a smart move. They're looking at it. The way BetMGM runs, I think if they do find the foot traffic, they're going to be one of the better performers out there.
I mean,
on the retail side.
I love BetMGM.
That's it for industry updates. Let's finish up with our legislative roundup. two states to finish up on. We've got Nevada and we've got New York State to talk about. We've got updates in both of them. Over in Nevada, Governor Joe Lombardo has signed SB 1, which is the bill for public funding for the Oakland A's new stadium in Nevada.
All right.
That's $380 million in public funding to go along with the remaining portion of the $1.5 billion that they're going to be putting into the new entertainment and ballpark complex.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the ancillary things happening now. They're talking about the Tropicana being knocked down and things
Demolished.
like that.
Yep.
So demolished. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, again,
it's interesting. You know,
everyone's celebrating. I think they're still a little too soon to celebrate because, number one, they still haven't gotten approval for Major League Baseball to move.
It looks like it's going to happen, though. I mean, there's no way all this could happen. It's just that I don't think baseball will do that. Major League Baseball is going to hold this up.
Well, they got two steps. They've got the Major League Baseball approval for the move, and then they have an owner's vote for the move. So there's two steps on the baseball side of everything to happen. Then you have Bally's talking about once everything is in place, they're going to start the demolition of the Tropicana property where the entertainment and ballpark complex are going to be put together there. We're looking at possibly a opening in 2026.
Wow.
Of the ballpark. 2028. I'm sorry, 2028. My notes are a little moved around.
But look, I've said this before. I feel bad for the fans of Oakland. Boy, first the Raiders and now the A's. I mean, just, oh, man. I can't even imagine that.
Well, we may have another team going there as well because there's another group that is building an NBA arena.
Oh, okay.
That one is going to be opening in 2026. So keep an eye on that one.
Okay, all right. I guess that's a team moving there kind of thing?
Well, they're building the arena in the hopes of getting a team there.
So if they build it, they will come kind of thing? Is that the motto of this thing?
And also, they already have the WNBA team Aces there.
Sure,
So they, if all else fails, maybe that could be their home stadium and no one else plays there.
Yeah. I don't know how big that stadium is, though.
The one we're planning or
the one the Aces are playing in?
I think it's about the same size as some of the other WNBA stadiums. I shouldn't say that because some of the WNBA teams play in the arenas where the NBA counterparts play.
Yep.
For those things. So, it's a relatively good size, I would say.
Sure.
Quickly, as an update for the New York Seneca Native American Compact.
Boy, that's a mess now.
It's still moving forward.
Okay.
They're now going to be discussing what to do about this Rochester situation.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. So we're trying to trying to figure out what's going on with Rochester, and it's talk about drama. I was talking about the FanDuel, no, not the FanDuel, but the DraftKings Fanatics thing. This is another kind of a drama.
Well, according to the compact itself, there's no mention of a casino in that area.
Sure.
The governor's office did come out with a statement confirming a casino plan for that area. Mm-hmm. Representatives of the state and also the Rochester area are now complaining that they did not get a say in this, and they are angling for a say in the development of a casino in that region, which, by the way, I agree with. I don't see a problem with them having say in whether or not the casino goes through.
Well, sure.
The Native American tribe has urged the state to pass this compact to approve it.
Yeah.
Because it still has to go to the Department of Interior for approval after the state approves it anyway.
You would think before this got too out of hand with the stories and it being in the paper and everything, you would think that everyone would have a say before this got too far. It seems like everyone's skipping steps in this thing, so not getting everyone on board before everything happens,
Well, they aren't going to be able to skip too many more steps right now.
Yeah.
So, again, if the 20-year compact goes through statewide, it's still got to go to the Department of Interior. There's still work to be done on it, and I think for all parties concerned, they got to work that out.
Sure.
I think having a casino in that area makes sense.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
And, it just adds another market to New York State overall because now that we have the potential of New York City casinos.
Oh, yeah. Look.
Adding more casinos on the northwest side, makes sense.
Casino means jobs, especially in Rochester. And no offense to Rochester, it's a beautiful area of the country. I would have no other reason to go to Rochester except to visit their casino. So I think it's a good idea to get a casino in Rochester. So that's only my 2 cents. I spoke up. See, you got my opinion. You didn't get the local people's opinion, the local politicians' opinion on it, but, that's my opinion.
So we won't be having...
Which means nothing,
We won't be having you do the Rochester
No.
tourism commercials.
No. Yeah, right. Why else would you go to Rochester?
Exactly.
The
I can see
casino.
that copy
Yeah.
just doing wonders for that city. That's it for this week's Turnpike Sports Book Report. Press releases, info at turnpikesportsradio.com. Keep them coming in. If you've been following along on TV, the ticker has been running down below with additional news stories that we didn't have a chance to cover in this half hour. Also, after the show is released, the full print version of the Turnpike Sports Book Report, which has even more stories that we didn't have a chance to cover in our half-hour telecast, will be there, turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button, and you will see the print version there.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.